The CSA called an emergency meeting to bring its general membership up to speed with public sector negotiations. Negotiations between the government negotiating team and public sector unions are at the point where the GNT is offering 4%, while unions are proposing a 9.5% salary increase. No compromise or agreement had been reached by Thursday, one day ahead of an agreed deadline date of Friday, the 15th of February. President of the CSA, Mary Isaac, says public sector unions have bended over backwards to get negotiations moving. She says up to this point, the GNT has been very reluctant to work towards an agreeable solution for both sides. She expressed disappointment in the progress of negotiations thus far.
We have been moving consistently. We've moved down to 9.5% right now. We're at that position right now. We've rejected the 4%, and we are hoping they will come back to us with something better than that. They have really been very slow moving, and they've only moved by 0.5 at each point. So you can just imagine how many meetings it has taken for us to get them to move up to 0.4, up to 4%.
But President of the Trade Union Federation, Julian Monroe, says the two sides are making progress and that the negotiation process is still actively ongoing. He says conditions of work will be settled by Friday, while salary negotiations will continue next week. He adds that while both sides were hoping for an agreement by Friday, the 15th of February, it was not something set in stone.
I do not have a mandate to speak on government's offer. In fact, I want to tell you that the Trade Union Federation, the council had taken a position that at this stage in the negotiation, it is so delicate at this stage that we would not be publicly speaking on the position of the two sides right now. But what I can tell you is that when we met with the Prime Minister January 7th, we did agree that the two sides will do everything possible to try to end the negotiations by the 15th of February. That was not a deadline. It was just a time frame that we thought was sufficient for us to work with.
But the CSA president is not shying away from discussing negotiations and says CSA members are agitating for protest action to demonstrate their disappointment in the government's wage offer.
The members are very hungry. They're really agitating for us to just stay off the job. But we are trying to steer them in the right direction because we do not believe that is good for the country. Already we are being told that we are not productive, although there is no way of measuring our level of productivity. We know that our members work very hard to ensure that the economy keeps developing, but they are not being rewarded as they should be rewarded. So they are very, very frustrated.
Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony has painted a grim picture of the increasing debt which the country would face if any substantial increase is granted to public servants. He says the country's huge fiscal deficit must be brought under control to ensure progress and improvement in the economy. But unions argue that the public service is at the heart of a functioning and progressive economy, and therefore they should be compensated adequately for their hard work. Lovely St. Amy Joseph, HTS News Force.